All right, well, greetings, everybody. Yes, you know what time it is. We have ourselves a humongous, I mean a humongous Star Trek update right here on the Media Files. Oh, yeah. We are going DVD, Blu-ray, and even 4K. Yeah. So we've got a lot to discuss, and with that, let's not waste any time because we have a lot to go through right here on the Media Files. So let's beam up and enjoy the latest update to the Star Trek collection. Okay, welcome back. So, first thing we got here on DVD is a complete series box set. Now, funny thing is that I actually have most of a lot of the TV series. I do have, the original series, of course, on Blu-ray, which are the skinnier packaged editions. And I do have also around here somewhere the first season on DVD. But I have owned the original 2-disc DVDs forever, and yes, those god awful Blu-rays that came out in 2009. Yeah, less said the better. But anyways. This set here, I've never actually watched all of it. I remember when it came on, and then I just kind of quit watching. I don't know why. Either I lost interest, or was just too busy watching other stuff at the time. But now that I finally have here in my collection, we now have here the complete series of basically, as far as timelines go, the beginning of the beginning. We've got here Star Trek Enterprise, the complete series. Yes, how cool is this? Of course, it's in those big old friendly cases and whatnot, and you gotta love it when they always seem to want to sell those 1 to 3 seasons, but they never want to sell that other last season unless it's in the box, complete series box sets. I hate that. Untouchables, I'm talking to you. Anyways, so then up next. So, first one here. Yes, I've owned this one for a while. Of course, unfortunately, it got damaged. I think it fell and it tore off some of the stuff, so I have to hunt this one down, but I see this one all the time. So, I have the Blu-ray of the Wrath of Khan. Now, this edition is something that is a little bit different. So, this one that I have, this is actually the re-release. Yeah. You can tell by that little PC code right there how it's yellow. So I've had this one for a while, and, there was some issues with the original release, and of course that got, re-released. Well, I actually managed to hunt down at Disc Replay, not the one I usually go to, but a different one, and they actually had it with the slipcover and the banner of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Awesome, isn't it? But I noticed something. There's something a little bit different. We actually have here the white barcode original release. Yeah, this is with all the little oops and mess ups that happened. And so, yep. So let's just say that all I gotta do is just, try to find a better edition of the yellow barcode one to fix that little hole right there. Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Anyways, so then up next we got a pretty cool documentary here. Funny thing is, I think I found this at Dollar Tree, of all places. So So this was actually on the Smithsonian Channel, and it's a really interesting documentary, basically about, well, the title says it all. Building Star Trek. Yeah, how cool is this? It's a really interesting documentary about, of course, the making of, the original series and whatnot. And basically, it got released for its 50th anniversary. And they actually shows them restoring the original Enterprise model, which was used for the show, which is awesome. All right, so then up next, we have here another documentary. But this time, it's not about the Next Generation or Voyager or the original series. It's about all those other guys that like to hang out on that little tiny space station called DS9. Yeah, so here we have, from Shout Factory, we have here the documentary entitled What We Left Behind. Yeah, looking back at Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Yeah, how cool is this? Has some pretty interesting bonus material on it. Now, I know Enterprise has bonus material on it, but I don't think I ever read it. Yeah, that's just like way too much on there, so we'll do that at a close-up at some other point. So we have an intro from Ira, brief history of Deep Space Nine, what we left out, deleted scenes, filmmaker HD discussion, more from the fans, behind the scenes at the Variety photo shoot, and a theatrical trailer. So yeah, this was released to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Wow, it's hard to believe that is that old already. So speaking of another documentary, now I know this is on HamiltonBook.com, but that one's like the 25th anniversary edition, which I don't have. I'd love to get that edition. But I actually managed to find the original DVD release of this documentary to celebrate the 25th anniversary. To kind of celebrate just Trek in general. This came out in '99, but here we have the original documentary of kind of like, according to this, the biggest laugh generator since There's Something About Mary. We have here Trekies. Yeah. I've not actually seen this, and I found this at the mom and pop store for $2, so that's awesome. Just standard def, English subs, menus, and a Trekies trailer. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and it actually came with the insert too. Yeah, as I drop it. Anyways, but yeah, I can't wait. I need to find that newer edition. All right, so then up next, we've got here a couple of Blu-rays. So I've got all these movies, but I was like, well, this one here actually has, I believe, a few other bonus materials that's actually not available on any of the other individual releases, as far as I know. I'll have to dig into it a little bit. Mind you, I didn't pay much for this at all. I think I only paid like $3 for this in the end, so I'm not really going to play them. Basically $1 a piece. But we've got here the Star Trek trilogy, the Kelvin timelines. This is all three of the newer films. Now this one does not have all the a lot of the big bonus stuff that's in the for the first two movies. But however, though, I think for Star Trek Beyond, I think this actually has a few extra bonus materials that's actually not on the original release. Actually, the original release is right here. Let's do a comparison. Let's see. Let's see here. Let's see here. Looks like there's a few things here and there that may not be in there, but yeah, we will have to take a look at it and see. Anyways, so yeah. Okay, and then up next we've got here the OG. Yes, the original. We've got here on Blu-ray, which is totally cool because I love the fact that one disc is the movie and disc 2 is nothing but bonus material. We've got here on Blu-ray Star Trek The Motion Picture, the Director's Edition. So, what this is the remastered and restored version of the very first film. Now, this is the 2022 released editions. So what this is that basically this is literally Robert Wise's definitive vision in HD. So now the funny thing is that there actually are shots in here that have never even been completed until this release. They've actually added some brand new shots. For example, what the shot when Kirk when we first get introduced to Kirk, that whole thing has been now added and redone, retimed, and it's just amazing. And there is so much stuff. And the funny thing is, it just says includes a bonus disc featuring hours of new and legacy special features. Doesn't even list anything on here for the back. They just want you to be surprised. But yeah, what can we say? This, I think, as far as I know, this is the only Star Trek movie that has actually been, quote unquote, in production since, 1977, 78, whenever they filmed it. So literally almost 40 years, almost 50 years. Yeah, almost 50, over 50 years by now, or at the time. Yeah, about 45 years. It took them 45 years to get that movie finally completed. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So then up next, we got ourselves something that I found on HamiltonBook.com. And if you can get this, get it, because I don't know how many more copies they have left, because I know it's going out of print. We've got here probably some of the coolest things ever. It's a documentary series that William Shatner did. We've got here the special edition of the Captain's Collection, which features, of course, the documentary titled The Captains. It also includes the Captain's Close-Up, Chaos on the Bridge, and Get a Life. So, the Captains, Shatner sits down for 5 insightful interviews with franchise captains Sir Patrick Stewart, Avery Brooks, Kate Mulgrew, Scott Bakula, and his own Kirk counterpart, Chris Pine. The Captain's Close-Up. The interviews continue with this docuseries formed from additional interview footage unable to be included in the original The Captain's film. Chaos on the Bridge, the delightful and surprising story of bringing Star Trek The Next Generation to the screen. And finally, Get a Life, Shatner's own unforgettable love letter to the fans of Star Trek. But that doesn't end there. There's actually some bonus material that's actually exclusive to this. So we have another documentary. So literally 5 documentaries alone. We have feature-length documentary, William Shatner's Gonzo Ballet, extended interviews, the making of the Captains, additional stories, Ponder the Mystery, the music video, and trailers. So yeah, that is a ton of stuff. I mean, almost 9 hours of content just on this alone. If you can get this on Hamilton Book, I highly recommend getting it because it's very hard to find. Okay, so with these next couple of sets here, I've had several of these for quite a while, and there was only like 1 or 2 that I did not have. Of course, these are the collective sets, and I've had mainly pretty much 5, almost all 5 of them, which I thought was 5, but there's actually 7. Yeah. But this one here I've never owned. I'm finally glad I finally got it. I found it for $5. Brand new, still sealed, never opened. We've got here the Star Trek Fan Collective of Klingon. Yeah, look at that great photo there of Worf. All nice and glassy. And it's a 4-disc set, which features 3 new text commentaries by Star Trek experts Michael and Denise Okuda. Commentary by Star Trek creators Rick Berman and Brandon Braga. But this is 4 discs of all of the best of episodes of our favorite, heroes / sometimes villains, the Klingons. Yeah, you gotta love Christopher Lloyd as Krug, man. We are Klingons. So yeah, you gotta love it. So we have loads of stuff here on the back. So we have Audio commentary by Brandon Braga and Rick Berman on Star Trek Enterprise Broken Bow, episode 721. Text commentary by Michael and Denise Odica on Star Trek Enterprise Broken Bow. Text commentary by the Okodas on the original Star Trek series episode Trouble of Tribbles. Another text commentary on the Next Generation episode Sins of the Father, episode 156. Now, mind you, there's not 156 episodes. I think that goes by season. I'm not sure exactly how that is. But anyways. That or it could be just the total episode or something like that. But anyways. So we have text commentary by the Okadas on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Sword of Kallus. Text commentary on Deep Space Nine with The Trial and Tribulations. Get it? It's in full screen, obviously, except for Enterprise, which is presented in widescreen because Enterprise was the first ever show that went in widescreen. Everything else is all full frame. Then we have Adobe Digital 5.1 and 2.0 and subtitles. So yeah, there we go. Of course, Trouble with Tribbles is one of the best episodes ever of the original series. But we got Disc 1 focuses on, of course, of Enterprise, the original series. Disc 2 is all Next Generation. Disc 3 is Deep Space Nine. And Disc 4 features one Deep Space Nine episode and Voyager. So yeah, there we go. How cool is that? Loads of stuff here. So for the episodes, for Disc 1, for Enterprise, it's Broken Bow. For the original series, it's Errand of Mercy and, of course, Trouble with Tribbles. Disc 2, the 4 episodes that are picked here from Next Generation, is A Matter of Honor, Sins of the Father, and Redemption Part 1 and Part 2. Nice. For Deep Space Nine, for Disc 3, we have The Way of the Warrior and Sword of the Kallus. The Sword of Kallus. And then for Deep Space Nine, we have The Trials and Tribulations. And then for Voyager, we have Barge of the Dead. So those 2 episodes are on Disc 4. So yeah, there we go. What can we say? They're Klingons. And then the Lost collection, I guess is what, if you want to call it this. So there was actually a grand total of the fan collective sets, which of course features Klingon. Then there was the Borg, Time Travel, Alternate Realities, Q, and the Captain's Log. So plus Klingon. So you had 6 of those there. Well, I come to find out there actually was another one that was released just exclusively of a certain captain by the name of Captain Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah, we have here the Jean-Luc Picard collection, which is really cool. But this also includes, exclusive to this set, is a documentary entitled From Here to Infinity, The Ultimate Voyage, hosted by Patrick Stewart. So it features 2 discs. It has episodes on disc 1. We have The Big Goodbye, Sarek, Family, and The Drumhead. Then for disc 2, which of course is the documentary that I mentioned, then it has episodes Darmok, The Interlight, and Tapestry. Yeah. And full frame and 5.1 in Dolby Digital. So yeah, Tapestry. They here to view the tapestries. Yeah, you know what that's from. But yeah, how cool is this though? It is pretty cool that we actually get all this stuff here. And what's really cool about it is that it actually gives shows Picard's history in Starfleet, which is pretty cool. His whole career and stuff like that, and that's just totally cool. Yeah, good luck finding this. I kind of found this by accident, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize there was another collection set. So technically, this is Fan Collective number 7. So there you go. Alrighty, so then we have another documentary here. So we have this other one where it's not really Star Trek, but I put it in with the Star Trek stuff because, well, it's Shatner, man. Come on. What else more do you need? It's Shatner. Of course, it's based off the book, but then again, it is kind of interesting that it is basically about exploring the science behind the science fiction of Star Trek. And of course, I'm talking about this documentary entitled How William Shatner Changed the World. Yeah, I've not watched this yet, so we'll see how this is. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? It's Shatner. That's all you need to know. All right, and then up next. Now, I found this also on Amazon on HamiltonBook.com. I think this was 15, I believe. So, because I know when Sean Zernizrak, when he did his Star Trek update, I was like, oh yeah, I've got that set. And so here I'm thinking I'm gonna get just the standard Blu-ray case that comes with it. Just the standard edition. Well, I had no idea that when they shipped it to me, that I was actually going to get the Uber packaged set of this bad boy, the Roddenberry Vault. Yeah, now this is a big, huge slipcase. I mean, look at this. I mean, how cool is this? I mean, it literally is in the shape of a vault, and this is actually magnetic. I can actually get it. Yeah. I mean, how cool is this? This actually keeps the case from sliding out. I mean, look at that. It has film reels in there and stuff like that. How cool is this? And of course, you have the the Blu-ray cases in there. But thankfully, though, the back, this thing is just loaded with stuff. I mean, this thing alone is like 10.5 hours long with everything that's in there, and putting this back in the case is a pain in the butt. It really is. If you don't get it just right. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. Well, maybe. Nope. Just got to get it up over that little lip. There we go. All right. So, for the Roddenberry Vault, which is pretty cool, by the way, we have three newly produced special featured documentaries. We have that incorporate the Vault materials and all new interviews with the cast and production personnel, including new insights from William Shatner. Now, what's cool about this is that I'll read the synopsis of this. So, it says, from the cutting room floor to your living room. During the production of Star Trek The Original Series, bits and pieces of footage were left on the cutting room floor, then stored away in film cans for decades by the Gene Roddenberry estate. Now, in celebration of the show's 50th anniversary, the Roddenberry Vault has finally been opened, along with 12 of their favorite episodes. Fans can see and own the behind-the-scenes footage of the making of the series, as well as alternate takes, deleted scenes, omitted dialogue, outtakes, and original visual effects elements. This collector's edition Blu-ray set includes, as I just mentioned for the opening. So we have number 1, Inside the Roddenberry Vault, a multi-part glimpse at classic episodes from new angles and perspectives. Documentary number 2, Star Trek, Revisiting a Classic. Explore the origins and the early days of the production for the original series. And documentary number 3, Strange New Worlds, Visualizing the Fantastic. The groundbreaking work of the series designers and visual effects artists. Swept Up, snippets from the cutting room floor. And this is what's cool about this. So here we have 12 classic episodes chosen for their relevance to the previously unseen material. We have the following episodes. We have the Carbonite Maneuver, Arena, Space Seed, This Side of Paradise, which features a new audio commentary by Gabrielle Stanton and Dorothy D.C. Fontana, The Devil in the Dark, The City on the Edge of Forever, which features a new audio commentary by Roger Lay Jr., Scott Mantz, and Mark A. Altman. Operation Annihilate, Metamorphosis, Who Mourns for Adonis, Mirror Mirror, The Trouble with Tribbles, which features a new audio commentary by David A. Goodman and David Gerald, and Return to Tomorrow. And then all 12 episodes with 7.1 DTS HD master audio, plus newly restored original mono tracks. That's awesome. But that's not all. This is in my opinion, probably one of the coolest reasons to own this set, especially if you are a fan of film and TV music. We have here isolated music tracks for 11 of 12 episodes. So basically, we have almost the complete scores for 11 of the 12 episodes on here as an audio feature. That alone is cool. This is something that you must own if you are a fan of the Trek. Okay? A must own. Get it while you can. I'm just saying, it's going out of print. So, speaking of Strange New Worlds, we've got here DVD time. Strange New Worlds Season 1. Yeah. So this is basically the beginning of the Enterprise. No Kirk yet. All about Captain Pike and its first 5-year mission of the Enterprise. Yeah. So features 4 discs. I've not watched it yet. Has featurettes, gag reels, lead scenes, and audio commentary. It looks pretty good. So we'll see how this is. But I mean, come on. I mean, it's got Ensign Mounts as Captain Christopher Pike, and Rebecca Romaine as Number 1, and Ethan Peck as Spock. Now, I've seen some of his stuff as Spock, and he's pretty good. And then we also got here Strange New Worlds Season 2. Yeah. Over 2 hours of special features. So we have producing props, the costumes closet, the Gorn. Oh, that's a spoiler. Singing in space, exploring new worlds, and deleted and extended and alternate scenes. So yeah. Well, thanks for spoiling the Gorn. Considering I've never actually seen this yet, so we'll see how the Gorn is in this one. Hopefully it's not as good. Hopefully the fight seems better. But that's just me. Oh man. That's a lot of Trek. But, shall we say, as the saying goes, save the best for last. Am I right? Yeah. I need a swig of agua. Yeah. My mouth is running dry. Okay. Now, as they say, save the best for last, right? Well, folks, we have here the coolest 4K set I will ever have as of right now. We've got here Star Trek, the motion picture, the director's edition. You're probably thinking, didn't he show us that? Yes, but this right here is the complete adventure. This right here is the reason to own Star Trek the Motion Picture in 4K. Yeah. So, what is so cool about this is that this is the only way you can actually get all 3 cuts of Star Trek the Motion Picture in glorious 4K quality. So, this has the director's edition, which runs for 136 minutes. The special longer edition, which was only released on VHS back in VHS days, 144 minutes. And of course, we have the theatrical version for 131 minutes. Now, there is so much stuff in here with this thing that we're going to do a close-up of this at some point. But this is the reason why you own 4K. You wait and you wait and you wait. And, shall we say, we get some pretty neat stuff. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. And let's just say I have watched some of this already. So, basically this, there you go, got the Enterprise there and all that. So we'll get a close-up look at this at a later date, but I want to do a full, detailed review of this at some point. But, yeah, I found this on eBay, and think I paid in the end roughly only, I want to say, I think it was only maybe about, I think $30. So that's not bad at all for a 4K. So, and, but this edition, this is the 2022 edition of the Next Generation movie. So it has everything complete as the original Blu-ray release does, because I bought the director's edition, years before I even got my hands on this. I only bought this thing last year, whereas I've had that other edition for a couple years. But yeah, now I'm so glad now I can finally watch the special longer edition in physical media form versus instead of, the old VHS that I've got sitting in there. Yeah, so... Oh man, that is a lot of Trek. Oh yeah. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave a comment down below, like, subscribe, and with that, I think I'm gonna go relax and watch a little Star Trek before I go to bed. Yeah, I'm tired. Alrighty, so with that, live long and prosper, and with that, I'll see you guys next time. See ya.